All right, so number one, we have 56 times 1/7. So remember, when you multiply fractions, okay, both the numbers have to be in fraction form. So we got to put the whole number over 1 times 1/7. Now we just multiply across, or you can simplify before you multiply. If you multiply across, this is what you end up with. If you simplify before you multiply, you get 1 and 1, you can't do anything, but 56 and 7, we can divide both of these by 7. So that becomes 8, that becomes 1. So it's actually 8. So that would be 8 over 1 or 8. Both of those answers are acceptable. All right, now number 2, same thing. Since we're dealing with fractions, they both have to be in fractional form. But now we're doing division. Okay, since we're dividing, we have to do that keep, change, flip. Keep the first one, change it to multiplication, flip to 6 over 1. Then we multiply and we get 54. So number 2 is 54. All right, number 3. Now we have two mixed numbers and we're using division. So first off, whenever you have mixed numbers when you're multiplying and dividing, you have to turn them into improper fractions first. So to do that, we have 4.5 divided by 2 3/4. So we take the whole number times the denominator, add the numerator. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1, 9. Keep the division for now. Got to do the same thing to the second one. 2 times 8, 4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. Now that they're both in fraction form, we can turn them, and we do the keep, change, flip. We keep 9 over 2, change it to multiplication, flip it to be 4 over 11. Now I'm going to simplify before I multiply. Now 9 and 11 I can't do anything, but 2 and 4 I can. I can divide a 2 out. So this is actually 1, this is 2. So now we get 18 over 11. We don't leave it like that, so we got to turn it into a mixed number. To do that, 11 goes into 18 one time. You're left with 7 over 11. 1 and 7/11. Okay, now number 4. John's dog slept for 8 hours. If the dog snored every 1/4 of an hour, how many times did he snore? Since you're breaking it down every 1/4, you have to divide. So it's actually 8 divided by 1/4. So just like number 2, just like number 3, we have to turn them into fractions first, then we can do the keep, change, flip. So I keep 8 over 1, change it to multiplication, flip 4 over 1 to the reciprocal. So now we just multiply, so we do 8 times 4, 32 over 1. Or, since it's over 1, it's just 32. So number 4 is 32 times. Okay, Mr. Lash has 84 pounds of dog food to divide among his dogs. If each dog receives 1/7 of a pound of food for each feeding, how many times can Mr. Lash feed his animals? So once again, we're doing division. So we're going to take 84. Okay, 84 over 1 times 1 over 7. Or dividing by 1 over 7. So we got to keep, change, flip. 84 over 1 times 7 over 1. So we do 84 times 1 or 7. 28, 56, 58. So 588 times. So that's another division one, because you're breaking it up into so many parts. When it says he receives 1/7, that means you are breaking it up. Okay, now number 6, 7 and 8, or 6 and 7, all you're doing is writing an integer for each situation. So if Jan lost $5, that means she is -5. If the ball is expanding, it's getting bigger, so it's +8. All right, now number 8, they want you to put it on a number line. Okay, I'm just going to do 0, 1, 2, -1, -2. So we have 0, we have 1, we have -2. Now remember, you put the dot right on the number line, not above it, not below it, right on the number line. All right, now locate for number 9. Locations of 3 fish relative to the water's surface are 18 feet, negative 28 feet, and negative 14 feet. Which distance has the least absolute value? Well, if you look, 18, negative 28, negative 14. If we do these, the absolute value of 18 is 18. Absolute value of negative 28, 28. Absolute value of negative 14, 14. So it would be 14 feet because it is the very least. It's the smallest number. Okay, number 10. The end of a cave is 250 meters below the surface of the earth. Write an integer to represent the situation. So since it's below, it's negative 250. Okay, number 11. Mrs. Stratton's small business had a profit of $363 on Monday. Write an integer to represent this profit. A profit means they made money, so it's positive 363. That's how much money she made. And number 12, we're making a number line again. So in this time, it's negative 5, 3, and negative 8. So I'm going to start with, we can do 2s. So I'm going to start with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8. So we got 3. We have negative 8, and we have negative 5. So just like that. Or you could have wrote it out and had go by ones. You can do whatever you want on your number line as long as it is in order. All right, now 13 and 14. These are the ones where you have to identify the point. So we have negative 3, negative 4. So I start at 0. X is negative 3, so I go over to negative 3. Y was negative 4, so I go down. So that would be point D. And then now they want you to write the ordered pair for point A. Well, X would be 4. Y is negative 3. And remember, you have to put it in parentheses with a comma. Okay, now, number 15. I just said use the graph, but you are looking for the quadrant that this point is located in. It's not on the graph. You're looking for the quadrant. So 1, 4. If you look, 1, 4 is in quadrant 1. Okay, so you're looking for the quadrant for number 15. Now, 16, 17, and 18, you are graphing these. So I gave you a graph. All you got to do is go and graph them. But don't forget to label since there's multiple ones. So we go start at 0. X is 3. Y is 2. So right here, point N. Number 17, point P. So we go negative 4, negative 1. So that's point P. And point Q, 2, negative 3. So I go over to 2, and I go down to 3. That's point Q. So 3 points on the graph. 19 and 20, that's when you're comparing those two. So you need to write either less than, greater than, or equal to. That symbol. So we have negative 8, negative 9. Well, negative 8 is greater than negative 9. Okay, now we have the absolute value of negative 7 and negative 7. Well, the absolute value of negative 7 is 7. So 7 is greater than negative 7. And the final one, they want you to list that from least to greatest. So the very least would be negative 7. The next one would be negative 2, 0, 4. So those are the questions. That's basically the same thing on the test.